Hello, my friends. Boomy here, and today we're going to talk about when it's time to step away from the game you love. Let's talk about it. Hello, my friends. Boomy here with another video for you, my SWTOR brothers and sisters, and all my MMO brothers and sisters out there. Doesn't matter. This is for all of you. This is definitely, I didn't intend for this thing to become a series. The last video we did was talking about, what did we talk about? Oh my gosh, my brain just died. It is dead now. What the heck did we talk about? Oh yeah, diversity. Duh. Gaming diversity. Well, it kind of spurred on a thought for me and decided to do another video. We'll call it part 2 of a bigger overall thing about when should we leave the game we love. Now, just listen to what I have to say. It's not exactly what you think the title means. So here we are, right? We're in an MMO. And what I have to say, pretty much, it pertains to MMOs specifically, but it can be any game out there. So MMOs are awesome, right? I mean, they're big, they're gigantic, they're grindy as crap, but there's just a grander sense in an MMO than you have, say like in, I don't know, a first-person shooter type game where everything is on the rails and you only have that much space to work in to do things. And the story is not as gigantic. It doesn't exactly progress too much down a giant road. And then when the game is done, the game is done. And you're done. And you're just like, well, cool, that was $60 well spent. Yeah, baby. But when it comes to MMOs, like I said, you have a giant world. You have tons of people to play with. A great community. Let's talk, and a lot of this will pretty much, we're going to use World of Warcraft as a background, as a foundation on this, and SWTOR is big and popular as well. But you have like games like WoW, right? You have this thing been out since what, 2004, I believe? Could be wrong on that one. But it's been out so long, it's over 10, at one point, what was it, 12 million subscribers. It's probably around 7 million right now. And then it peaked up to 10 million, and it went down to over 6 million, or under 6 million at one point. But this game has implemented itself in our pop culture, in our society. It is like the bedrock foundation to almost all the MMOs after that, because the developer companies will look into WoW and see what they can garner from that to put into their games, right? So WoW is gigantic. It's immense. And SWTOR is immense, lowercase, as well. So, but within an MMO, you have tons of people playing, right? You have tons of people just there on the computer playing, spending their day doing their thing. That's what they do. And we're there to have fun, right? Games are supposed to be fun. Grindy, but fun nonetheless. Grindy just comes with the territory, baby, when it comes to an MMO. But they're there to be fun. They're there like as just, a part of our lives is what we do. Some people go to sporting events, some people do this, do that. We have our games, right? In a sense, sometimes games make us who we are. And there's nothing really wrong with that yet. Like I said, it's a great hobby. It's a great way to release some stress. It's a great way to escape from some of the weird, crazy crap that's going out there in the world sometimes. And just decompress and just get lost in the story, get lost in grinding, crafting, whatever it is. Get lost in the epic story of your choosing, whatever the game you might be playing is. That's all fine. And that is pretty much all healthy. And I would have to say about 90% of our communities view it that way. Where we have an issue, though, is when it becomes on the flip side. And when that happens, we need to make a decision on when we need to step away from the game that we tremendously love. We need to step away from the computer and just walk away for a bit. And here are some of the things, why. Just think about it, right? And like I said, this can be different for everyone. Everyone has their own thing. But one thing I have learned in my experience personally, when we first start playing an MMO, like SWTOR, World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online, what have you, sometimes it soaks us in, and we just get so immersed in the game that everything else around us just seems to disappear. You know, like I said in like the diversity video, there were times that I dreamt of World of Warcraft. It becomes your dreams. It becomes almost, the MMO almost becomes everything you do, right? That's all you're thinking about. Even when you're at work or you work this way, your brain is constantly thinking, well, what can I be doing here? I should be doing this. That'd be great. And sometimes it's hard to pull us away from that. And there could be a good thing there, like party on to the developers and the storytellers who have built such worlds that grab our attention so vastly. Grats to you. And like I said, anything that's going forward, none of this is to blame the developers at all. Nothing. They just developed something for you to enjoy. The rest is up to you. So that's where that lies. When we get immersed into something so much, sometimes that trickles in, sometimes elusively. We don't even realize it's happening. When, say, you're choosing game over your real life friends, right? Say you're like, yeah, man, I'll totally meet you this one time. Yeah, I'm totally going. And you used to be consistent. Yeah, man, I'm going to totally hang out. But then you just every once in a while start just choosing your game over hanging out with your friends. And at first, they're not really thinking. It's like, okay, man, you must be busy. Cool. Because sometimes we are very secretive about it. It's like, I'm doing this one thing. But instead, we're killing lizards to collect 15 bones. And we have to kill 1,000 lizards. Because apparently, only 15 of them have bones and the rest just don't. Oh, MMO problems, right? When it comes down to when your friends are trying to, actively trying to get you to step out of the fantasy world into the real world, there might be a sign we have an issue there. When you start showing up late to work, and I will admit, a lot of this has happened to me, so I speak from experience, but when you start showing up late to work, now late to work thing is not so much, I'm very schedule oriented, so I've been pretty good, especially in my beginning days playing MMOs at, I gotta stop, but there have been times when I'm like just lost in doing something and I don't realize what time it is. And that just happens. That happens to everyone, especially late at night because we like to stay up late. But when it gets to a point where it happens a bit too often, when patterns start forming, when you're showing up late to work, when you're showing up late to class, you're showing up late to commitments or not even showing up at all because you're so trapped and engrossed in the game you're playing. That in itself becomes a problem, right? And also, if you do show up to work, good on you. Thank you for that. But, sometimes our brains get lost and we start to daydream about wanting to go kill that one raid or that one operation boss or do that one dungeon or what's going to happen next or whatever it is your inner game goals are. When it starts seeping into work, when it starts, distracting you from what you're supposed to be doing, whether it be work, church, family, what have you, there's an issue there. And you kind of see where I'm going with this, right? But here's a quick story, and kind of like to underline this a little bit. I know a couple, they're friends of mine, and they almost got divorced because when they were first married, this guy, he was playing a lot of Counter-Strike. I believe, it was Counter-Strike. He was playing Counter-Strike all the time, which I remember back in the day, you actually went to internet cafes, not cafes, but they were businesses that were dark, and everyone in there were councils everywhere, and everyone was playing Counter-Strike. I remember back in yonder day. But that's what he would do. He would, spend some time with her, but then he would go play Counter-Strike. And it got to the point to where whenever he would like, okay, I'm gonna go play my game now, babe, she would just be left in tears because she wants to spend time with him, but he is picking the game over her. And like I said, it almost ended horribly. Luckily, he knew when to step away. And everything is bliss now. So everything's good there. In fact, he doesn't even play games anymore because he has that addictive personality. Sometimes these games become addictions. They can be, especially when you're logging in, you have that login screen, and it gives those little tidbits on the bottom of the screen saying, hey, make sure to go up and play. It's cool to play inside the game, but make sure to go play with your friends. Or, hey, crack a window, man. Woo, it must smell. Sometimes we get so engrossed, it becomes an addiction, it becomes a thing, like, this is what we have to do. We live and eat and breathe the game. That is who we are. screw everyone else around us, but that's like the mentality. It has the same thing to do with any type of addiction out there. When you're heavily into it, you are just like, this is what I do. Oh, this is my baby. When that starts to happen, that's when we need to start taking steps back. That is like, the ultimate like hit the wall type situation. There's different steps you've been taking, and once you realize those things early on, you should probably take a step back from whatever it is you're gaming with or doing. Like, don't do those things. That's bad. Ew. Ew. But if you do find that you're starting to do these things like I underlined and I listed, that's when we need to take a step back. We need to sit back a little bit, push the keyboard away, walk away from the monitor, head outside, call your friends, and you just need to step away. You can come back to the game, that's totally fine. But you just need to know what your limits are, and you need to start actually putting limits on your amount that you play. It's cool to get engrossed in a game. That's awesome. That's what days off are for. But there are times when, you find yourself just so fixated, nothing else matters. And that's the problem. That's when we need to take that time and step back. And even if you get to a point where, the game and how you play it and how it rules your life. Now remember, you're the one who decided to play this game. It's no one's fault but our own in that one, right? We are the ones who make the decisions to play the game. We're the ones who log in. We're the ones who pay the monthly fee. If you do that, remember, not developers' fault. They just created the product. We're using it. We're the ones to say yay or nay to it. So I'm gonna put that out there right now because I'm no soapboxes. But sometimes we need to take that step back. And if it gets to a point where you cannot take that step back and you've gone out, but man, it is just ruling your life and not in a healthy way. Like as a content creator, yeah, I'll go out. I'll be at work. I'll be doing whatever it is. And yes, I am, in the back of my mind, going through things that I can do in the game for the channel, for this, that, and the other thing, but I don't let those control me. I don't let those dictate my schedule. The other way around, actually, my schedule dictates everything else I do, and that's a healthy thing. But when it becomes your God and master, it dictates everything you do, that's when it's not healthy at all. And people have died. They have died from playing way too long and not taking care of themselves. Like right now, trying to take care of myself, man. Getting out there, working out, dropping the pounds. It's a good thing to do. Look at Swifty. He's a big YouTuber in the WoW community. He used to be very overweight, but look at him now. He is just trim and whatnot because we have to change things, right? We go things for easier. And that's part of it. When we start doing an unhealthy thing in our lives, it impacts the rest of our lives. When we start bring healthier things in, that also trickles into the rest of our lives. Gaming is fine. Playing MMOs is fine. Having time to play the game, fine. And you don't necessarily need to abandon the game. You don't. If you feel like you can control it, or it doesn't control you or whatnot, you don't need to abandon the game. Like I said, once you start creating those healthy habits of, I will, when I can, I'll parse out an hour or two to play a day if I have that amount of time, and then I'm done. Or, maybe I'll just listen to a podcast here and there, listen about it if I can't log in. Or, I make my certain goals, and some people I know make schedules in their game. They play about this amount of time and whatnot, and there's a There's a mechanic in World of Warcraft to where you can time how long you've been on. And a lot of developer companies put those in there because they know people just like, they just get the addiction. Like that guy, he's been going on, look. But anyways, games are fun. They're supposed to be fun. Communities are great to get into in these games. Reach out if you feel like you have an issue. My email's down there. Reach out if you have an issue. If you want to talk about it, let's start a conversation. And if you want to keep that private, my email's down there in the information on the channel. And shoot me an email. We'll talk about it. I've been there, man. I lived it. I've lived the experience. It's not fun. But take healthy steps. Back away from the computer when you need to. Walk away. Come back when you want to. Or when you can. Or if you think you can. Either way, remember, when you stop having fun, that's another sign that you need to pull out. So, my friends in the conversation thingy bot comment things below. Let me know if this has been helpful at all. The last one was pretty helpful, and I was actually surprised how popular that one became. But let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. And also, anything else you want me to touch and comment on in this type of arena here. Also, make sure you hit that like button. If you do so, my beard will shine upon you. But if you think this is crap, downvote the living poop out of this thing. That's fine. I'll cry a bit, but it's whatever. And if you really like what you see here, hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Boomy Nation YouTube Freak Show family here. And we will love you forever. My beard will shine upon you. That is for sure. My friends, remember to be kind. It's about community. And it's okay to take a break every once in a while. We'll see you later. Good day.